Good evening, everyone. Just to kind of lay out the shape of the evening, because this is one of those evenings in our schedule where one of the lunar observance days and a Sunday guided meditation fold in together. They sort of coincide. And so this evening, first of all, we won't be doing our normal full moon midnight vigil. Because we're starting a week of group practice tomorrow morning, so we'll be wrapping up after this evening at reasonable time. So the shape of the evening is we'll, as we do normally, begin with chanting, and then there'll be the Sunday guided meditation, and so which I'm planning to lead, and then I've invited Lumpur Sujito to be available, that if anybody in the lay community, lay team, wish to request 3 refuges and 8 precepts. So Lumpur is available for that. And then I've also invited him to offer a short reflection afterwards. And then we'll finish with a short period of chanting, and then we'll wrap up from there. So just to kind of let people know what the plan is for this evening. Okay? And so we'll begin with some chanting.
We can begin the evening by chanting the Anapanasati Sutta, which is page 85 in the dark brown book.
Do you have books, Lumpur? Do the two of you have books? It's on the way, isn't it?
Andamayang Anapanasati Sutta Patang Vanamase Anapanasati Bhikkhave Pavita Bahulikata. Bhikkhus, when mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, Mahapala Hoti Mahanisamsa. It is of great fruit and great benefit. Anapanasati bhikkhave bhavita bahulikata. When mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, Jataro satipatane paripureti.
It fulfills the four foundations of mindfulness. Jataro satipatthana bhavita bahulikata. When the four foundations of mindfulness are developed and cultivated, Sattamo jange paripurenti, they fulfill the seven factors of awakening. Sattamo janga bhavita bahulikata. When the seven factors of awakening are developed and cultivated, Vijja vimutting paripurenti, they fulfill true knowledge and deliverance. Katam bhavita chakikave anapana satikatam bahulikata. And how bhikkhus is mindfulness of breathing developed and cultivated. Mahapala hoti mahavisamsa, so that it is of great fruit and great benefit. Ila bhikkhave bhikkhu, here bhikkhus a bhikkhu, aranyagatowa, gone to the forest. Rukamulagatowa, to the foot of a tree. Sunyagaragatowa, or to an empty hut. Nisidati palankam abhujitawa, sits down having crossed his legs. Ujum kayam panidaya parimukham sating upadapetva, sets his body erect, having established mindfulness in front of him. So sato vahasasati, sato vahasasati, ever mindful he breathes in, mindful he breathes out. Digam vahasasanto, digam asasamiti pajanati. Breathing in long, he knows I breathe in long. Digam vapasasanto, digam pasasamiti pajanati. Breathing out long, he knows I breathe out long. Rasam vasasanto, rasam asasamiti pajanati. Breathing in short, he knows I breathe in short. Rasam vasasanto, rasam asasamiti pajanati. Breathing out short, he knows I breathe out short. Sabakaya pati samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing the whole body. Sabakaya pati samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, experiencing the whole body. Pasambayam kaya sankara asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, tranquilizing the bodily formations. Pasambayam kaya sankara asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, tranquilizing the bodily formations. Piti pati samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing rapture. Piti pati samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe out experiencing rapture. Sukapati samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in experiencing pleasure. Sukapati samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out experiencing pleasure. Chitta samkara pati samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in experiencing the mental formations. Chitta samkara pati samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out experiencing the mental formations. Asambayam chitta sankara asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in tranquilizing the mental formations. Asambayam chitta sankara asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out tranquilizing the mental formations. Cittaviveka samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in experiencing the mind. Cittaviveka samvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out experiencing the mind. Abhipamodayam cittam asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in gladdening the mind. Abhipamodayam cittam asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out gladdening the mind. Samadaham cittam asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in concentrating the mind. Samadaham cittam asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out concentrating the mind. Vimochayam cittam asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in liberating the mind. Vimochayam cittam asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out liberating the mind. Aniccanupasi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in contemplating impermanence. Aniccanupasi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out contemplating impermanence. Viraganupasi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in contemplating the fading away of passions. Viraganupasi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out contemplating the fading away of passions. Nirodhanupasi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in contemplating cessation. Nirodhanupasi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out contemplating cessation. Patinisaganupansi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe in, contemplating relinquishment. Patinisaganupansi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us. I shall breathe out, contemplating relinquishment. Evam bhavita kovikawe anapanasati evam bahulikata. Because that is how mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated. Mahapala hoti mahamisangsati. So that it is of great fruit and great benefit.
So we'll establish ourselves in a posture, sitting posture that's sustainable for the next while. And we all have different postures within that range that work for us. So whether we're sitting in a chair, on a bench, on the floor, lots of cushions, no cushions, we just have to support ourselves. So. So there might be some of us this evening that are brand new to meditation, but I also know that there's people who have been meditating for 50 years. And so there's a whole range of experience within the room, everything from, as I said, zero experience to masses of experience. But we've all come together to practice meditation. To practice together, regardless of how much experience we have or don't have. So I always emphasize and encourage all of us, myself very much included, that as we undertake a meditation session, and no matter what posture that is, whether it's sitting meditation, walking meditation, standing, lying down, is it really clearly intend, that this is different. It's different from what we were doing half an hour ago, probably, unless we were in here meditating. And I find what's helpful is to establish a sort of preliminary steps. So as I mentioned a few moments ago, to establish a sitting posture that works for us, and to take some time to establish that. And that has many benefits. One is that how it supports us physically, but also it's that taking time to establish the mind. So it's giving attention to the body. Placing our mindfulness on the body. So already that's sort of bringing our attention probably into a more focused arena of attention. So not only establishing the posture, but also noticing the sensations of the body. We can notice the tactile sensations of whatever we're feeling through the body, from our clothes or from the seat that we're sitting on, pressure. So it's just taking a little bit of time to notice what's present in terms of our experience of sitting. Not what we think about sitting, but what's the actual visceral, physical sensation. Not dictating how we think we should feel, or how we would rather feel, but just noticing what this moment actually feels like physically. A very common and I find useful practice is to do what's often referred to as body sweeping. And so begin with our attention at the top of the head, crown of the head, and just slowly move our mindfulness, our attention down across all sides, all of the head, front, sides, back, all the way around. Just slowly checking in and noticing, especially checking for any unnecessary holding, so we can just relax. Relax every muscle that doesn't need to be used to maintain our sitting posture. So we continue that right down, all the way down the body, all the way down the arms and fingertips, all the way down torso, legs, right down to the toes. And so we'll do that for the next a few minutes, and so we can each do it in our own speed. So I won't be speaking, because we might have a speed that works better for us as an individual. If we get down to the toes, and I haven't started giving further encouragement, then I suggest just going in reverse. Just keep going up and down the body, and just placing mindful attention, gentle attention, relaxing attention on the body. also perhaps if we've done one whole sweep through the body or more, is to broaden our field of attention to encompass the whole body. Try just just to open that up to consider on a feeling level, a visceral feeling, physical feeling, the whole body at once, so that our attention is contained within this range, not favoring any particular part of the body. As we chanted, experiencing the whole body. And what we chanted this evening is the extraordinarily well-known Anapanasati Sutta, the discourse on mindfulness of the in and out breath. These last minutes we've been tuning in to the body, releasing, relaxing, noticing, calming. So for the next several minutes, I suggest we place our attention on the breathing process, on that very process of the in-breath and out-breath. Not forcing the breath or controlling the breath, but just observing whatever the breath does. Observing the body breathing in and breathing out, so we can observe that and at whatever point, whatever place in the body feels most comfortable and easy. Doesn't matter whether it's the nostrils or the throat or chest, whatever, abdomen. It's whatever we feel at ease with. Relaxed attention. And it gives us that place to return to if and when our mind goes elsewhere. If and when we find our mind has wandered to another topic, thoughts, feelings, memories, hopes, plans, whatever, then we just return to the breath. And leave aside whatever else came up. Gently leave it aside. So we'll do this for the next several minutes. giving attention to the body like this can have a calming, tranquilizing, settling effect. Just the mere stopping, the pace of the world, the complexities, and just to simply stop, offer attention to our well-being by practicing like this. Right now, just sitting, just breathing. And then we say, well, all these thoughts coming in the mind. So these are the mental formations mentioned in the chanting. Thoughts, memories, you name it, big range of things arise. So we're not trying to destroy that, to wipe out the thinking process, but to see clearly and understand the thinking process, to understand mental formations, emotions. Experiencing mental formations. It doesn't say judging, it doesn't say annihilating, but experiencing. Breathing in, experiencing mental formations. Breathing out, experiencing. Now, by using the word non-judgmental, or without judging, doesn't mean that we're blind to whether something is skillful or unskillful. We're not just normalizing the unskillful things that might arise. No, we're very clear what is what. But not judging ourselves as for having thoughts. Not judging the moment as, oh, this is good meditation or this is bad meditation. So clearly seeing. Calming. Sometimes as meditators we can make an enemy of thinking, an enemy of mental formations. Instead of, as I mentioned earlier, that understanding, letting go, letting them flow through consciousness, instead of wrestling with them, trying to fight them, push them, annihilate them. This is where using the breath, I find, is so helpful, because breath doesn't think. We might think about breathing, but in and of itself, it doesn't think. So then if we are doing this type of meditation, then when thoughts or feelings arise, we can notice them, observe them, let them flow, and just return to the breath. That's our sort of ground to return to. But also then there's the wisdom aspect of Dhamma practice, of seeing the ephemeral, changing nature of existence. And as we chanted, breathing in, we observe or contemplate impermanence, change. Breath is changing. Bodily sensations changing. Thoughts and feelings coming and going. Anicca, impermanence, unstable. the more we begin to perhaps experience stillness, calming, and the more refined our attention can sometimes become. Easier to see more subtle things within our experience. This is the great benefit of states of calm. The easier it is to see more clearly what's what. To see more clearly anicca, impermanence. To see more clearly where maybe we're trying to fight against impermanence. Holding on to the liked, the wanted, getting rid of the unwanted. And then keep it that way. Try to create permanence when permanence is not possible within the conditioned realm, which is what we live in. Things changing slowly, quickly, somewhere in between. So relinquishing our grasp. But in no way have I heard the suggestion that we shouldn't put effort into, creating relative stability in our lives. Of course, this is can be very helpful as long as it's wholesome, doesn't hurt us, doesn't hurt other people, other living beings, doesn't hurt the planet. Yeah, put in wholesome effort to create and maintain more or less good situations. But we do it with wisdom. With that discernment, and then when things change beyond our control, the heart is going to respond differently than if we're grasping and clinging. This is the stress, the dukkha, the discontent. Just trying to maneuver through the unwanted in an unrealistic way. So what we call meditation, it's a very broad topic. That word has very broad meaning in the English language. The word most commonly used in our tradition, in the scriptural tradition, the original Pali language, bhavana, which has been translated in various ways. There's a couple of the main ways is cultivation or development, to bring into being. And so that has, when you consider that in the English language, it has, to me at least, a different feeling to it than just meditation. So this is practice of cultivating clarity, cultivating balance within the system, clear, balanced knowing, and cultivating the wisdom faculty, the discernment. Recognizing the changingness of the conditioned world. And how to relate to it with acceptance, this is the path of non-suffering, non-stress. So I encourage all of us to go beyond just the practice of tranquilization in terms of meditation, tranquility, but to develop it as a tool for developing and going beyond just tranquility, but developing wisdom. And as this develops, often the natural inner response is kindness, compassion, empathy, joy at the good fortune of others. And the word I used a few minutes ago, the balanced, a more balanced way of our inner world. Steadiness. Okay, you can relax your posture a bit if you wish. So, as I mentioned at the beginning of the evening, if there's a request, because the precepts, it's a request of the precepts and refuges. So, if people wish to practice this evening with the 8 precepts, this is available now, and it begins on page 131 in the dark brown volume. And as I mentioned, Luang Por is available to respond to that if that happens. And the form that's used here is the first one. It's for a group from a monk. It's the Mayang Bante. And so, and it traditionally begins with bowing 3 times, if that's comfortable for you.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Sanghaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Dutiyampi sanghaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Tatiyampi sanghaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Te saranagamanam nititaṃ. Manatipāta veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi. Undertake the precept to refrain from taking the life of living creatures. Adinna dana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi. Undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given. Aparamacharya Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami. Undertake the precept to refrain from any kind of sexual conduct. Motsa Vada Vera Manesika Padang Samadhiyami. Undertake the precept to refrain from false speech. Sura Miraya Majja Pamadatana Vera Manesika Padang Samadhiyami. Undertake the precept to refrain from intoxicating drink and drugs which lead to carelessness. Vikala Bhojana Vera Manesika Padang Samadhiyami. Undertake the precept to refrain from eating at inappropriate times. Najjagitavadita visukkatasana malakanda vilepana dharana mandana vibhusanatana vera manesika padang samadhiyami. Undertake the precept to refrain from entertainment, beautification and adornment. Ujjasana mahasana vera manesika padang samadhiyami. Undertake the precept to refrain from using high luxurious sleeping places. Imani atasika padani samadhiyami. Imani atasika padani silena sugating yanti, silena bhoga sampada, silena nibboding yanti, tasama silang visodaye. These 8 precepts are a vehicle for happiness. These 8 precepts are a vehicle for fulfillment. These 8 precepts are a vehicle for peace. Therefore these precepts should be kept in purity. So it's Sikkhapadani, training, steps in training. Sikha, training, pada, steps, training steps. 8 training steps. Training in mindfulness, mindfulness of our intentions and actions. So this is
really trying to get this framed right, because I never really knew what a precept. I didn't really get this sense. I knew what laws were and rules were, morals. Morals were things you got damned for, sent to hell. Rules were things you kept in school, or you had to go to detention or write out lines. Laws were things that the state imposed upon you that most people didn't really keep all of them anyway, particularly the people who were imposing them. And they were all basically top down. Somebody up there tells you this is what you're going to do, otherwise you're going to get some stick. So the idea that you actually see this as a vehicle to happiness, fulfillment. No, that's not the frame of reference. It's just authority being imposed. And actually the precepts are not, that's not what they're about. They're about us establishing our own authority over a citta that's extremely susceptible and changes and influenced and porous, permeable by all kinds of energies and influences and contact. Is how this easily gets rocked. And when it gets rocked, it has all this potency leaks out. Asava, leakage, it leaks out. And when it leaks out, our intentions and actions come running out. Our speech comes running out. And then we create karma. That means we affect others. We affect our own citta. Our citta gets sent down tracks that become habitual. Habit tracks become established. We get formed in that. They're called mental formations. We get established in those patterns. And we kind of find ourselves being structured in ways that are not for our welfare, not for the welfare of others, don't lead to peace. Lead to consumerism, selfishness, excitement. Lead us into the sense consciousness, which is something we have to work with, this sense consciousness. But it's certainly not a home, not a place you can find lasting peace in. It doesn't do that. It's always changing. It's stimulating. So, the sense of the trajectory of training is to be able to withdraw from that, or that impact and impulse and attachment that gets perspective. And this is really, why these training principles are held to be a firm foundation. In fact, mindfulness is based on these. So, you get this, you get these straight, then you got a platform for mindfulness, because you know what you're looking after. You know what you're guarding with your mindfulness. You know what you're really mindful of, where citta, our heart, gets tugged around, and the results of that. We get habitual, we get habituated, we don't know what we're doing, and we get regret, remorse, and cause damage. And we've used our precious life and our precious energy in a way that do us no good, have not led us anywhere useful, and have perhaps harmed and hurt other creatures and other beings. In the right view. So these are really important to get a sense of what we are looking after, establishing authority, looking after a citta, mind, heart, that is very susceptible. And when it gets moving, it does all kinds of stuff that we're not clear about. It's reactive, it's impulsive. But what does happen is everything we act upon, we get the results, whether we're clear about it or not. The Buddha said, if you pick up a red-hot cannonball, whether you knew it was red hot or not, you still get burnt. So it's good, it's not just somebody's punishing you. some energies just don't do you much good. We look at the corrosive quality of violence, the contempt and the lack of fellow feeling, abusive behavior. That which feels we can take whatever we want. We can chop down forests, we can take whatever. Earth is just ours, take what we want out of it. And where that's taken us to. The way people use sexuality is just kind of basically something to distract yourself and entertain yourself with. And it's around everything, from every clothing, cars, everything has got some sexual tint to it. Songs, music, everything like that. And you look at the kind of damage people can do with that. Rape, violence, abuse, and carelessness. Following that energy with no sense of restraint or awareness of it. And how much that very life force that pours out. All the spiritual teachings say that stuff, if you actually hold that and contain it, it can turn to a powerful force for strength and radiance. You have to train it, restrain it. Then you can send it to different channels and it becomes like anapanasati, fills your whole body with brightness and vitality. Wouldn't that do you more good? Speech, how easy it is to say something, connects straight to your thought, shoots out. Once it's been said, it can't be unsaid. And how much, do we really notice what we're saying? Do we notice who we're talking to? Do we notice what we're trying to do with our speech? How we're trying to arouse people, but convince people, entertain ourselves. How useful is this? So at least through learning the speech is beautiful, gift, worth listening to, worth treasuring, creates harmony. Wrong speech does the opposite. Gossip, backbiting, deceit, manipulation. And how these speech habits can run out, because you look at the general level of verbal transmission in the world, it's very poor. We look at the kind of authority figures, governments, leaders, it's very poor standard of honesty. It's mostly manipulation. And so eventually speech becomes just say what you like. Any old trash will do. And then what have we done? We've broken the one way in which we can connect to each other. We've broken it. When you can actually rely upon someone's word. And if that goes, what kind of society, what kind of culture, what kind of friendship is there? And you wonder, why is the world so criminal? Because nobody trusts anybody. It's all lies, manipulation. You kind of expect it. You don't expect truth. So we take these, and well actually I do it, I expect truth. I expect to make an effort to it anyway. Still stuff slips out that perhaps wasn't 100%, but it's got exaggeration or it wasn't really careful. well, I'm going to make an effort, because I think it is important that people can trust what I say, and I can feel I'm giving signals that are true. Otherwise, what kind of relationship is it going to be? And if there's no relationship, where are we? Yeah, kind of this dystopia, which has become the norm. Loneliness, depression, cynicism. And what happened? Well, drink. Absolutely normal. Absolutely normal. Alcohol. Dog wouldn't drink it. Dogs are too smart. Something has no value at all to the human body, no value at all to the human mind, in fact, detrimental to both of them. And this is considered social grace, courtesy, civilization, friendship, is all. This is the means we have to do this. We use this as a means for that. I mean, we've got no other way of being civilized, courteous, friendly, except through damaging our health together. And losing our balance. Because once if you lose this one, the chance of keeping the other precepts are definitely reduced. Yeah. So it's not just about being prudish or puritanical, it's just about like, hey, I want to have authority over my mind, not blurred and fuzzy and doesn't really matter. And I want to also model that. Yeah. These are really important ones. Yes, you're going to get some calm, some steadiness. You're managing your outgoing energies and, stabilizing them, and then beginning to, acknowledge some of the damage that has been done by oneself and others, with a sense of not so much guilt as sober. Hey, yeah, that was pretty out of tune, and then we get a tinge perhaps of remorse, which is okay. You train, means you take up that and train, there's a sense of regret or remorse, stay with it, don't wallow in it, let it be something that's reminding you. Now, the fact that you can feel any degree of remorse means you are someone who's worthy, because now you've already realized the true standard and you've seen that which was inadequate and you're turning away from it. So it's a healthy sign. No damnation. No damnation, no final, just a sense of, mindfulness has been established. I am the reminder. They're precious. Now, these renunciant training, there was the complete refraining of sexuality, renunciant training. This is really for deepening the depth of citta. So we really want to look into the energies of the heart that move out, and when they can be restrained. Not because they're bad, but because restraint allows the energy to gather and collect, rather than just be dissipated. These are not moral, these are trainings for deep cultivation. And then we get wisdom, because then you begin to recognize it's not the things are beautiful, it's not the things are exciting, that we are excitable. We are sensitive, we are affected, And it's not that things are, fantastically entertaining. We are excitable. Things are just things. They have no intention to do anything. But we get excited. And what happens? More. Can't go without this. Like another one of these. More. Yeah. The mind loses its firmness. So getting this sense of the firmness that can come. No, I want to keep the energy where it should be. Gathered, collected, steadied. Understand with wisdom what leaks, what runs out. Understand the consequences. Understand the stopping of that leakage. Understand the benefits. And then you can review all that which seems so exciting and powerful and necessary is just a conjuring trick. Just stuff to do with irritation, ill will, passion, confusion. Yeah. I see clearly now. So when you take these training principles, we do them every 2 weeks. Actually, ideally, you recollect them every day, because it's cultivating. The whole process of cultivation is founded upon a sense of sympathy and empathy, and in a world we share, you can't. You're in it, so you're either acting responsibly in it or not. And this is responsible, where the human being takes up the proper position, which is the ethical center of the universe, the cosmos, holding these values. Okay, I can't necessarily, I can't sit very well, but I can hold these values. And I can linger in the beauty of that. And I can be uplifted by the strength of heart that comes with that. And this will certainly pay off in terms of what your energies are doing, what your mind is doing, and as a foundation for clarity, self-respect. And as those energies turn from outgoing sensuality, it becomes a gentle radiance of kindness, compassion, joy. There's the possibility. This is why these are vehicles towards happiness, vehicles towards spiritual fulfillment, vehicles towards peace. Hold them carefully. Hold them carefully. Treasure them. This is what this monastery is founded on, really. It's a kind of unifying theme, and makes people feel they can come here and feel safe, and feel trusted, and be held responsible. And so this when we grow in strength. So coming here, you can take the 8 precepts one night or one day, and reflect upon it. Staying here, reflect upon it. Reflect upon not just the doing of it, but what it's leading to. What it's leading to. And what you put aside. And the freedom of what you put aside. And then these will really shine and be a benefit, a blessing for you.
do a little chanting. Ajahn Kachana, could you lead us please in a reflection, Dhamma reflection?
Reflection on Universal Well-Being, page 41, English. May I abide in well-being,
in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intention, all beings are the owners of their action, and inherit its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts they will be the heirs.
Page number, Ajahn?
What is it, 19, close my homage in English. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one, I render homage to the Buddha, the blessed one. The teaching, so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples, who have practiced well,